Hola chicos, today we're going to talk a little bit about los verbos reflexivos. We saw many verbs that are reflexive in our story, as well as many verbs that are regular in our story, receta de amor or love recipe. The verbs that are regular just look like we've always seen them, baña, cubre, quita, but there are many that are reflexive that appear as with the word se in front of it. Se baña, se cubre, se quita. A couple of examples would be el hombre pone crema en el pastel. The man puts cream on the cake. Another would be la mujer se pone crema en la cara. The woman puts cream on herself, on her face. One more example would be el hombre mira el pastel. A reflexive example would be la mujer se mira en el espejo. The man looks at the cake versus the woman looks at herself in the mirror. So what is that say used for exactly? In Spanish, we have something called reflexive verbs. Reflexive verbs are used when someone does an action to themselves. So we might think of it as the action is being reflected back onto the person doing the action. There are a lot of verbs like the ones we just saw that can be used both normally and as reflexive verbs. Sometimes they'll mean the same thing, or sometimes that'll change the meaning a little bit of those words when we use them reflexively. Let's see some examples. Rafael baña a su perro. Rafael bathes his dog. That's normal. Reflexive. Maria se baña en las mañanas. So this is she bathes herself in the mornings. So doing the action of someone else versus yourself. Another example. Mi madre cubre la pizza con queso. My mom covers the pizza with cheese. Doing it to something else versus Ana se cubre los ojos porque tiene miedo. She covers her eyes. She's covering herself, right? Part of herself, which is her eyes, because she's afraid. Carolina quita el pelo de la hamburguesa. ¡Qué asco! She takes out a hair from her hamburger. How gross. So she's doing it to something else versus Gloria se quita los zapatos. Gloria taking off her shoes. Elisa pone azúcar en el café. She puts sugar in her coffee versus Eduardo se pone los jeans. He puts on himself jeans. La mujer levanta el bebé. She lifts the baby, doing it to something else. Versus mi abuelo se levanta de la silla. He lifts himself up out of the chair, which that would change its meaning a little bit. He stands up out of the chair. Sounds more normal in English, right? El veterinario pesa el gato. La chica se pesa en el gimnasio. The veterinarian weighs the cat. The woman weighs herself at the gym. Pedro mira su teléfono. He looks at his phone, something else. El hombre se mira en el espejo. The man looks at himself in the mirror. A little bit more. Ella arregla la ropa en el armario. She's arranging something else. Her clothing. Sofía se arregla el pelo en el baño. She's arranging herself. She's arranging her hair in the bathroom. Julio seca los platos con una toalla en la cocina. Julio dries the plates, doing it to something else. Mariana se seca las manos con una toalla en el baño. Maria dries herself. She dries her hands with a towel. Mario sienta el teléfono en la mesita. He sets his phone on the little table. Roberto se sienta en el sofá. Roberto sits himself down on the couch. La chica maquilla a una amiga para el baile. The woman does her friend's makeup for the dance. Alicia se maquilla para el baile. Alicia does her own makeup for the dance. Susana prepara una ensalada. Susana prepares una ensalada. Ellos se preparan para el partido de fútbol americano. They prepare themselves for the football game. Okay, so there will be a short interactive presentation that you'll complete after watching this video, as well as a worksheet on Google Classroom that is going to review these themes. It'll have some reflexive versus non-reflexive. It will also include a little bit of our ser versus estar, which it uses Dr. Place, the acronym Dr. Place. If you need to review that, I just peeked to see. I don't have it reviewed in this presentation, but you can go back and review Ser versus a star, Dr. Place, the acronym that reviews the uses of when to use each one of those on Wednesday's presentation or a couple of the presentations from last week. Okay, so one more time, you'll have, apart from this video, a short interactive presentation as well as a worksheet over Receta de Amor that is going to have you reread the story, and you are going to select reflexive versus non-reflexive. Are they doing the action to themselves, reflexive, or is it just they're doing the action to something? Non-reflexive, normal verb like we've practiced. It also includes ser versus a star. There's a front and back of that page, and that will be good preparation to get you ready for our reflexive unit and our reading check-in on Monday. Okay, email me with whatever questions you have, and I'll try to get to those in a timely manner. All right. Hasta muy pronto.